Hi, everybody. This is Allison from Allykatkreations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you get anything from my work, I connect on Epiphany and Mind Explosion. A new book to read, a new author to explore. Please consider supporting my work. All the links are at the bottom of the description, and holidays are coming. I'm still working on testing out these floral business card holders, pyramids, pyramid hearts, paintings. Freya was about to jump on the chair, and I don't know why she didn't jump on. Onan was here like 5 minutes ago. They might come back. We'll see. Co-host one and two are in spirit, and three and four are not wanting attention. So, hey guys, how is everybody tonight? My insights on the Law of One. Book 4. We got there, guys. It's one page because there's a lot of loaded stuff to go over here. And a lot of my own ranting to go on off of it. So here we go. So excited. Um, it's been a very long time since I read book 4. Almost 19 and a half years ago. I read The Law of One, but I didn't read the books in order. And I really didn't comprehend much besides the UFO stuff that they were talking about back then. Now that I have a bigger, expanded grasp of reality, I got some juiciness here. Yeah. Session 76, February 3rd, 1982. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to one of my decks, as everything is compacted here and spilling over all over the place. And this is my favorite deck, the Lightseer's Tarot. Look how beautiful this work is. This is where I am now. This is where I would like to be. Oh, look, there I am. Why am I showing you all these cards? Because we're talking about tarot. Now, I don't pull from tarot often. And when I do, it's usually from my Viking deck because I understand runes. And I understand, I don't know why, I'm very, very connected to Norse. I know why. I'm very connected to Norse mythology, but it's not mythology. I lived it. I lived in a lot of those paradigms. So I'm very connected to this because I'm an artist and I see things with the cards, but I don't read tarot. I'm not the best at channeling through them. We're going to get into that, but why I'm showing you this is because a lot of this first part is about tarot. I'm better versed with my energy with oracle cards. Sorry, I have to throw books on the floor. Because the messages, I mean, tarot is the same way in a sense, each having an archetype, a astrological sign, a point position with numerology. There's a lot that goes into the tarot. Symbology. The Rider-Waite is one of the most epic, famous tarot cards decks that you can buy It's usually what is preferred when you're first starting to learn. I have a deck somewhere. I get it, but everybody interprets the meaning to cards in their own unique, in personal way, and I like that. I have a million, not a million, I'm exaggerating, but I have a lot of Oracle decks, which I interpret in a broad sense, but I can hone in for somebody specific and really unleash. Whereas I don't have that connection to tarot. I can pull up my signs, the Emperor, and yet I am kind of masculine in my energy. I'm more of my masculine than my feminine. I'm trying to impart my feminine into this vehicle because it's unbalanced. But when you're by yourself and you don't have a masculine holding that space, I have to play both roles. So it's a little, but that's somebody on top of their game. Aries, Fury, Fire, owning it, winning in it. But not everybody interprets that card that way. It's up to the discretion of the reader. So the first out of the gate, I just put printer ink into my printer, so excuse the noise. The questioner asks about the origin of tarot. And Ra explains that the origin is twofold with the study of divination. One, a distorted way where priests made an attempt to teach the law of one in Egypt. The law of one was a regular practice at that time, space. The second of those influences came from Mesopotamia, Chaldea, who received information which deals with the heavens from the seen and the unseen world merge. The results uneven astrology and archetypes with distortions of perception. The priest class with Sumerian influence used the symbology in the aid of tarot. So the social memory complex that we call Ra, okay, so it's not just what we deemed as the god Ra that had a bird face, and it was a social memory complex that was materialized supposedly. And I don't really buy a lot of what was said about a lot of these things. This is my estimation and my perception of it. But back then, the advancement of healing, of the pyramids, of societies, Ra brought the law of one, the bigger teachings and understandings. And he used the priests that had a better understanding and comprehension and cognizance of symbology, of what was being dictated around the surrounding areas in a totality sense, to use them as initiates to teach others the law of one. And that's using different influences so that more people can merge with the understanding of the tarot. It's not some Aleister Crowley. Yeah, there's a big influence there with him. But the original tarot was developed in Egypt. Now, can you claim Ra was the one that originated it? We can't make that claim. I don't want to make that claim. I think it was a compendium of different elements and different things. They steering the law of one and helping the people influence, thus created the origin of tarot. I don't think Ra made it. Although there might be claims that he did. I don't know. I don't want to put that claim out there. But Ra goes on to say during space-time, teaching, learning in Egypt, they worked on bringing three aspects of complexes to the initiated state to contact intelligent energy for themselves to learn, teach, for all to have mind, body, spirit complexes understood. So these aspects of mind, body, spirit, it's a in-between way of, it's like me using the oracle cards to help people in their healing, in their understanding, in their everyday lives of, why did I choose serendipity? How can we get here to achieve serendipity? What is it you need to work on to achieve serendipity in your life? It could be an omen. It could just be a miracle that happens. Gathering around the power of community. Maybe serendipity will happen when you are with the community. You see, I can pull a million different cards from a million different decks and have it make sense. It was intended to help people that had the awareness, help people that didn't have the awareness, and steer people in the right direction. And it's up to them, that person receiving the information, if they're going to use it or not, or they're going to apply it to their life or not. It's just a tool. Tarot, astrology, we'll get into that a little bit. The Tree of Life, they talk about Sitharoth here. All of these modalities are just that. They're tools to help people who can tap in to a bigger creative intelligence, the ether, pull down information and make it make sense on a more simplistic level using pictures and using symbology to help people see it, believe it, understand it, understand it, and walk it. Now, of course, it has been distorted by such entities as Aleister Crowley, but that's just a catalyst for us to do deeper work, to go within, to know what resonates, to know what is in heart alignment with us. Just because, oh, I threw it on the floor, Zerubbabel says it's evil. Okay, that's a perception. I had to pause. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. Getting back to tarot. These are just guides to help you. Whether you want to take the evil way or not, always go in alignment with the person giving you the information. And it's not something that can dictate your life. It's a tool. A lot of tarot card readers that I watch are now implementing that tarot is not something to run your life. It's a tool. If something pops out at you and it's something you know you need to change, the universe is telling you that through this symbol, hi, there's hope on the way, but you have to do the work to get there. It's not going to just miraculously pop out in your life, but it is a helpful tool, if that makes sense. The questioner asked about the evolutionary process that tarot is for us. We all have three choices, Ross says. Astrology, the 12 signs, the planets, the energy web that connects all the planets together. Tarot, the 22 major arcana, the Tree of Life, the 10 Sitharoth, 22 relationships between stations. It's up to the initiate to pull what they are magnetically drawn to, which is the modality of astrology, Tree of Life, tarot, oracle. I'm going to add now oracle, runes, trinkets, tea leaves, coffee cup readings, all of that stuff. What are you drawn to if you want to be the one that gives a reading? Drawn to investigating the archetypal mind, using the disciplines one studied and mastering each or one, the idea to express it in one's own unique fashion of its understanding. And that way, by doing such, you can help teach other people what you have mastered so that more people can receive messages and they use their unique way to get across a teaching learning. It's a teaching and a learning. And through this, you're supposed to tap into the infinite intelligence that is up in the ether. Like I said, I don't ever use the cards to dictate my future or to predict things because there's all these potentialities that could happen. In the reading, in 1 minute, I'm in one timeline and that's what it's picking up on. But then tomorrow I wake up, I'm in high vibes and I shift to my timeline, and that reading then becomes null and void. Okay. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to people that do love readings, there's some whole, sorry guys, allergies all day today. I had to go out. Outside world is boggling my mind right now. But the stuff that people do is what they're channeling. And most people channel the messages through the cards. So the cards have a meaning, they get more information and they siphon it to you unbeknownst to them. So you got to take the reader, and if you like their personality, you like the vibration, the energy that's coming off of them, and you know that they're being sincere and honest with you, because I can tackle anything. I can make a card reading sound fantastic, when in reality, it's like 5 of this, everything is changing around you. You want somebody being honest with you when you're receiving messages. Sometimes it's too brutal of a truth and it has to be a little softer so that you would be able to recognize, like, yeah, you do need to change. You do need to go into healing. You need this modality to help you. Don't allow it to overcome your life and be obsessive with it. There's a lot of people who run their life by astrology. Like everything is, oh, my house, right now everything is hit for me as an Aries. I'm an Aries sun. A lot of things are hitting my 7th house, which is relationships with people. And I'm just like, how do I navigate any of this? Right? I use the astrology to my advancement. But I know some people personally, and this is not a judgment on them, but use like, oh, Gemini is in my 5th house right now, and I have to be super cautious about this, but they let that caution run their lives and not just be, oh, if that shows up, I'll just have to think about it a little more deeper. Does that make sense? There's a lot of people who let these modalities and these tools run. And I did a video on this, but it's very interesting to go back to that concept that you can't let things run and rule your life. You have to be the judge, jury, and executioner of what you do in your everyday, present life. If you know you need healing, heal yourself. If you know you got some uncertainty like I do, with a lot of different aspects of my life, because everything is changing. I've had millions of terror moments in the last 3 months of my life where, yeah, I'm shifted into one of my purposes, but it's not sustaining my life right now. And everything's like 10 of cups, everything's going to come, 10 of pentacles, you're going to be rich, things are coming in. And I'm just patiently waiting for divine orchestration and divine timing if that comes, but I'm working towards it. I'm putting videos out. I am making artwork. So eventually at some point, either it works or it doesn't, and I got to scrap it and figure out another avenue of work. But everything is changing in my life. What is changing in yours? we all have to see these as signs and use these as tools to give us a better understanding of, oh, okay, the sign is telling me to hang on. Don't give up just yet. Like, you're being paused for a reason, divine orchestration, divine timing. Not everything wants to happen in your ego's time. Bills have to get paid, but at the meantime, like, you have to have faith in the universe that things are going to work out for you. And for that fact, that's what I'm trying to use right now, is to have faith that everything is going to work out. Even though it looks like it isn't, I am stressed to the max with all that's going on. I'm making the best attempts so it doesn't affect my energy. I'm trying to live as in the moment, as the present as possible. So it's interesting. I couldn't find them. I have in the book, they show you some tarot cards. I have to look further before I show them just basic card and stuff. But I like the idea that tarot was supposedly helping get out the loved one. Now, with different decks, different interpretations, different readers, each card holds a little bit of a different purpose. It has an understanding of what it is, and it's used with astrology, because I could tell you the Emperor is an Aries card. Some people can go a little deeper than that. The Sitharothal tree of life, I know in one of my books with the esoteric section has, I think, a tree. I don't know if I show it or not, but it's used in a lot of different people's work. I think Dylan Lewis Monroe from the Deep State Mapping Project, I think, uses a similar imprint of that tree. Ashiana Dean uses that for her linking of the dimensional spaces and the races that inhibit that, the stargates. And those are just like examples that other people have used that template of that tree of life. Again, those things can be used as positives or negatives. We live in polarity and duality. You got to take these things as tools to use for the intention you want it to be used for. So for me, I use oracles to help people. That's a positive thing. There are some people out there that use it for the evil. I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying you got to go within and know what's right for you. Oh my God, it's Masonic. Oh my God, it's this. If it's worth using, because it's positive. Oh, well, there's 13 zodiacs and guys, I'm not changing my sign. I'm an Aries. I know I'm an Aries. And I have a lot of different signs that are encompassing my natal chart. Guess what? I associate my most. And even though I have one thing in Aries, that's my sun. I am a heavy sun. I have a Gemini moon. I'm a Virgo rising. There's a lot there, but I am an Aries. I can't take that away from me. And I make sense. If you move me to Pisces, I'm going to make a lot less sense. And so is the aspect of it's an illusion in the first place. So why we get stuck on, we can use the other astrologies and stuff. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think you can always take something and build upon your story that you're trying to remember. But nothing is absolute, because this is all an illusion. The questionnaire, this is my favorite part. The questionnaire asks about first and second density, length of time which it occurred on this planet. So if we go back to Dolores Cannon, remember it's the elements formulating in time space to create the planet. It is the earth, or the first offspring of like actual life. And that merges into second density, where we're seeing the insects, we're seeing the plant life, we're seeing the animals start to evolve. Okay. And then third density comes the actual self-awareness and consciousness. So this is just brilliant. Ra responds, quote, there is no method of estimation of the time space before timelessness. Give way in your first density. To the beginnings of your time, the measurement would be vast, and yet this vastness is meaningless. Upon the entry into the constructed space-time, your first density span a bridge of space-time and time-space of perhaps 2 billion of your years, end quote. He goes on to say, second density was the longest density of space-time, 4.6 billion years. So, whoa. Now, if I go back into the Urantia book, they are claiming millions. I don't know if about billions. I have to go back, but they talk about like the beginnings. And I'm not, they like literally put the number out. They don't put it in written form. So I'm like, what? Dyslexia. So I have to see if Urantia is with the same or in the same vicinity of understanding. But that's a long, for our linear continuum understanding of that number, holy shitballs, that's a long time. 2 billion of first density, that's 2 billion years of the earth just like forming itself. And then all of a sudden, like second density, 4.6. That's a long time for all of this to come up to this point now. Again, take what aligns with you. This makes sense to me. Questioner then asks about third density being rapid compared to first and second. Ra, quote, the third density is a choice. Quote, the prelude to choice must encompass the laying of the foundation, the establishment of the illusion, and the viability of that which can be made spiritually viable. The remainder of the densities is continuous refining of the choice. This is huge. So it validates a lot that I say. It validates. One, we all wrote this together. We all wrote this illusion together. We wrote the story to this time continuum construct of the holographic illusion of the simulated matrix. We wrote this. This is why it's a choice. We all needed soul growth, and what better way is to collectively come together and write a humongous plot storyline of millions of years, billions of years of our going through different epochs of obtaining consciousness. Each epoch, each dimensional space that we traverse through in different lifetimes, because reincarnation is there, incarnation is there. And this is simultaneously right now happening, by the way. We're living all of this out, just not in the here and now. In the here and now, in this reality, we wrote this. We wrote each and every one of the lives that we were going to live, all the lessons we needed in each lifetime. And if we didn't get to those, we're repeating and doing other lessons in different bodies and different time spaces. We're continuously doing this loop. for more self-awareness. Third density is looking in the mirror and self-identifying, knowing that actually is you. And I'll take it a step further now. It is actually looking in the mirror now, in this now moment, and seeing beyond you to seeing your other selves. It's dropping the identity of the I and becoming the we, the all-encompassing infinite. That's next level, fourth, fifth density understanding. And we're there, just about. We still have to play out 3D and merge it with 4D. We're bridging right now. So we're still between 3, 4. Most of us are already 4, but there's a lot of people still bouncing back. We did this bounce back in the last 20 years. Many of us were living in both. Now most of us are in 4, staying there in the first stages. And some people are still ping-ponging back. We did this ourselves. It's a choice, and it's an illusion. Because once you get to where a lot of us now are, to see that an illusion is all fake. It is just a learning experience for us to learn and grow from. It's a takeaway from us to merge into our higher selves. It's the lessons, it's the soul growth, it's the moving into a higher form. And in many instances, most people are going to physically have a death in order to ascend into another vehicle that will carry them in 4 to 5. We're refining in 4 what we want. We create our reality, but we wrote a story, and we are what we're writing is shifting the timeline. We wrote 1 billion timelines for ourselves and collectively. And when all of humanity gets to a certain vibratory frequency level, the timeline shifts for a totality of people. And you can do it individually, and you do it, I forgot the seconds that you can do it in. You can always continuously shifting, and in those shifts are refining what's going to play out. That's why predictions don't work that well. I'm not saying they don't. It really takes somebody who is really in tuned with the ether in a long-term projection for some probability that can or cannot play out. Jeez Louise. Give me a second, guys. I need it. Sorry about that. I'm still trying to clear my throat. But in essence, this is huge to understand. Ra is basically saying the very same thing that I say all the time, that we chose this. We chose our circumstances. We chose each and every one of the lives we live for spiritual purposes, for teaching, learning, challenges, soul advancement. So if you can't understand that and really implement it and apply it in your life, you're going to have so much unhealed trauma by not confronting that fact that you wrote your story. You wrote the asshole that ruined your day. That person was there in your life to be an asshole for a reason. The people who are sleepy are there for a reason. They're here to teach you compassion. In order to move into 4th, fully in its fullest octave, we're still in the sub-octave of 4. Many of us are in the sub-octave. We're not in full octave 4 yet. Ra talks about the octaves, by the way. We have to have full understanding of what unconditional love, feel it, embrace it, apply it, walk it, emote it. And unconditional love for all things, not just who you want to love unconditionally and your animals. I love my animals. You have to love it all. The frequency of love. There's no hate in that equation. Hate is just a device to help you see the unhealed trauma that you have within you. And collectively and in your community, there is a lot going on in the world. And it should be teaching you what not to be, what you don't prefer. As you know, I'm not a Bashar fan at the moment because I'm getting wonky vibes, but his older work, what are you preferring over what you don't? And sometimes the universe is going to throw you that wrench because it needs you to either double down on your what you don't prefer. Like, no, you keep going back to this pathway that you don't prefer. What we're telling you, you don't prefer it. So why are you choosing it again? Because it's comfortable for you. Being uncomfortable is a sign of big change. Like, I'm very uncomfortable in my life right now. I know I have massive changes coming in. I've had massive changes the last 2 years. Change is here. If you're not on board with the change, why? It's only going to help you. Putting your faith in the unknown, jumping and taking that fool's journey, that leap of faith, starts to wheel over again into another story and another timeline. You already wrote book 1. Now you're on book 2 of your life. It's to be continued. Your next series has come on board. You have to change the theme of your book a little bit so people get captivated by what's in it. And now you're writing your book to your life. What do you want in there? What are you choosing? And we're all in this stalemate in between energy because of what is playing out on our outside world is dictating very much what is going on collectively within people. It might not be you, and I wouldn't own what's going on in the outside world to yourself. But there's a lot of people in fear, in projecting fear, and we got to end that. It's an illusion. Ra Quo and Latwii and Hatan keep saying it over and over in all their writings and all their channelings. It's an illusion. Why are you buying it? Hook, line, and sinker. What are you prepared to do as a society, as humanity? We are being tested with the hurricane stuff right now. Okay, so they cloud seeded, maybe conspiracy theory, entertainment purposes, only YouTube. Okay, so what? They have patents. Great. Weather still happens. It's still going to happen. Is it God's plan? Oh no, the evil people are controlling it. God's the evil person too. God's through everything. God works through everything. God's good and evil. It's God's will. You might not like it. You don't have to accept it, but it's those people are working as God's instruments, whether you like that or not. Maybe there's a bigger perspective you are missing because you're seeing it narrow. You have blinders on because I am of the light. But look at the paperwork. Look at it. Look. Okay, great. What are you doing to help these people? Sorry. How can I get this to reset? Let me take my magic wand. There it goes. See, magic wand helps. Hi, Spirit. Sorry. Like I said in the other video, I was in chat saying, here's the steps that I took. I'm not financially straight. Like if it wasn't for a kind person that watches me, that gave me a gift card to a store, I wouldn't have been able to get printer ink today. It's expensive. And mine doesn't take the cheap versions that you can get off of Amazon. Okay, and I was able to get some food for myself. Okay, that I'm back where I was 2 years ago. Let's just be honest. I still went through my house to find towels, rags. I found goggles I wasn't using, gloves, shampoo I can't use anymore because of my hair. I had it from New York. It's sitting in my bag. Why is it there? No, I'm going to send it off so somebody can wash their hair. They lost everything in their house. They're going to need shampoo. Feminine products that I can't use anymore. I went through my house to see what I had and I put it in a box. I sent it directly to somebody I know that's been affected, that is helping other people. So I know my stuff is going to get to where it needs to go to get help for people. Okay, it's not much, but I'm telling people in a chat, and everybody's like, I'm sending my prayers. Oh, that facility is bad and that's bad. What are you doing? This is humanity's test right now. I know I'm going way off of the law of one, but the law of one is still applied here. We're being tested. Are you stepping your rule up? I don't care how many patents are there. I don't care what is in the sky or in the air and the ground. It's all, if it's all evil and it's going to kill us, it should have killed us by now. The earth has to cleanse. Gaia is cleansing. This has been foretold by so many people. It can't be ignored. It's not even predictions. It's people that actually tap in to say, well, no, there's certain events that may or may not occur, but if they do occur, just be ready. Okay, did we know where it was going to be? Did someone give a date? No, but they said earth changes are coming. I'm sorry to say that. Because one of my cousins is heavily affected. Do you think I want to see my family affected or anybody's family affected? No, but this is what they wrote in for themselves. And this is where humanity should be stepping the F up. And we're seeing it in droves now. But for the large majority of people that I keep interacting with and like, oh, what? I don't know what to do. Ask if you can get a mailing address and mail some stuff that you have in your house you don't use. You're going to get rid of. People lost everything. So they could, I'm sure they'll be very thankful for a towel. You might have 50 million towels in your house or a coffee mug that you don't use. I'm just saying, it's the small things like that that go a long way when people are impacted like that. And it's usually from people who have nothing or can't really afford to put their heart on their sleeve and say, here's $500. Because a lot of us don't have that. But you know what? I have extra towels. Amish mindset. So, guys, take that as something. I hope I light a fire under some people's booties. Okay, that's not going to be the last and only final natural disaster that happens. Okay. And I would hope that if something happened in my area, if something happened in another area, that we all still pick up the torch up to do the same type of help. It's so important. We need to be the beacons of light. It is an illusion. Metaphorically speaking, the illusion of good and evil is there for our learning teaching. Okay, that doesn't mean physical things still don't happen. They're catalysts. The illusion is the patterns are there, but is it really something to weigh your conscious on and space up in your head? It's something to refer to. Well, that could be the reason why, but does that reason really effing matter once it's done? It's an illusion. A lot of things are. When you detach from that and don't take everything so damn personal and understand that you wrote your damn story, you're the reason and cause of a lot of what goes on in your life because you wrote it for yourself. Then you can take up responsibility and ownership of the crap that you needed to learn that you possibly forgotten about, or that you could go back and release to become a better human being. That's what we're trying to achieve. All this negativity playing out is to make you a stronger, better, persevered person. It's not to punish you. You wrote these difficulties in. People wrote these tragedies in to their story. So it strengthens them, and the bigger lessons can be learned by humanity. One of them is the US is always out to, when people have earthquakes and all kinds of things, it is government controlled, by the way. Regardless, though, people are sending things overseas. People are sending them down to the Caribbean and into different countries. The US is always aiding other countries, but I don't hear another country sending any kind of aid to the people down south. I saw a lot of memes like that today. America, wake up. I saw it during Sandy. It's up to us to save ourselves. It's up to us to be the change. It's up to us to walk the change, to be the change, to have a cause and effect in society. And if we're not making that change and we're not walking in our convictions, we're not stepping up to the plate, nothing happens. The negative, polarized entities win. Still God. It's just a different timeline plays out. That's not what we wrote. We wrote for the light to overbear the light, the evilness, and take over. How can you write that if you're still feeding the negative energy with patents and I'm not here to judge people. Listen, I get it. I see it. I understand where you are at in your awareness. I get it. But it's done already. And it's going to continue to happen until we choose that it doesn't. Use your energy within your body to do such things. Stop saying everything's going to kill you, because it is going to kill you. This is the purpose of the test. They seeding the sky supposedly, and that is what happened. Okay, great. Why are you feeding it? It's giving it permission to happen. Do you understand how things work? It's fucked up. I made the last video I made, it was the analogy of The Simpsons. It's predictive programming. Not all things are evil, but not all things are being used for the good. When the good is using all the evil stuff and feeding its energy for it to manifest its shit. Stop feeding it, transmute the energy, and hopefully we can win the next battle that's playing out already. Feed what is going now on in the Gulf and give your energy to it to dissolve it. Not many people are even thinking about that. I can't be the only one that tries to help lessen a hurricane strength. It might still happen as a tropical storm, but if I can lessen it in any way using my energy to project myself into the damn thing to stop it, I am. No one wants to see this, but it's going to continuously happen until everybody learns to stop feeding it the negative energy, to stop with the back and forth nonsense ping pong match that we have. It's an illusion. Once you see past the illusion, once you see past the energy, you can transmute it and we can have a different world. Anyway, off my soapbox. On the topic of disease, Quote, the logos plan for entities, the mind, body, spirit complex to gain experience until the amount of experience was sufficient for an incarnation. End quote. So that's why you have so many damn past lives in time space continuum understanding of, even though everything simultaneously happened, you have had a lot of different experiences of different incarnations and different epochs and different time delineations, different densities in different countries, races, cultures. You experienced it all. Why? Because you needed to accumulate all this knowledge, all this wisdom, and it can't be in one lifetime that you carry it all. Right? Your first life could have been a mammal that saw fire and didn't know. You put your hand on it, you burn to death. Next life, you go out into the ocean, you can't swim, you drown. Each one of those lifetimes, even though they're very short, you have learned a lesson that carries into your soul's etherical DNA that you tap into, and then you have a fear that you can't go swimming or go in the water, you don't know how to swim. You don't want to touch a fire that hurts, but you need it to cook food, so you have to be careful. Each one of these experiences have brought you more and more and more into consciousness. And each of those lives serves a purpose. You're dead, you come back. And you're usually coming back in a soul group or a tribe, the people that you picked to help you throughout your experience, them, you, them. For second density, it's about seeking growth in consciousness. Seeking. Why many animals are just about ready to hit third or hit the higher octave of third, like Morgan Cat and Ethan Cat, they were self-conscious. They were aware of their identity. They knew. Odin and Freya, same thing. And most animals now are conscious. Not to say they're not conscious, they're alive, but self-identification. They identify with self. They can look in the mirror and not be afraid because they are actually seeing themselves as the soul that they are, as second density beings. So their consciousness is upping. So we're in third dimensional bodies. We are now self-identifying as something higher, but we're still in that essence. The cats are the same, dogs are the same. They're in second density vehicles, and they have the third dimensional awareness of self. We are in third dimensional bodies, moving on to a higher form of existence, higher consciousness, but we're still in the 3D. So do you see there's like a bridge that is happening between the animal world to the third and third to fourth? It's a bridge, and we're in the middle of that bridge right now. So are the animals. They're crossing into third. We're crossing into fourth. Most of us are already fourth. Most of the animals are in third, but they're still in their older bodies. For third, the disease catalyst wasn't properly assimilated, why we experienced multiple lifetimes. Disease was here to help us grow, help us learn, help us as a catalyst to see that we can defy our own limitations that we set on ourselves with the story of the illusion. Sometimes it's from the microorganisms that are already here that are affecting us. It's mutations in actual nature that is doing it. But I'll get more into it with the next session. I just wanted to keep this a little on the condensed side because with the tarot, that's huge. And the first and second densities. Just understanding that the time span that is in linear continuum time about that. Then think about how old your soul is, how infinite your essence really is. Mind expanding. So I'm going to leave it here, guys. Please check out my earlier this morning video. It's a TikTok's Clips 9. I got some juicy stuff in there. Thank you to the few people that did show up to watch. I know it's Saturday and it was 10 a.m. that I posted it. But I do thank everybody for liking, subscribing, and commenting on my videos, whether it be Little Thor or my regular work. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Sending each and every one of you love like a passion grace, shielding and protective energy. Please go within, be the shoulder, be the lighthouse, seed your truths. Sprinkle a little bit more around. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. Take a deep breath. It's a lot, but we're on that precipice and we're just about to jump off the cliff. Are you with the jump into the faith of the void, or are you going to hold yourself back? The choice is yours. Just understand it's all an illusion. I mean, yeah, this is physical, but a lot of things that we are seeing and playing out, and it has a purpose and it serves a meaningful thing. But where are you serving your energy? What distraction is distracting you from going within yourself? For the millions of hours that people watch podcasting and watch the information and is very attached and obsessed with information, what time are you dealing with yourself? That's the biggest question I pose to people right now. I'm not saying don't know about the information. What is more important for you in this moment in time is going within and dealing with yourself, because you're the game changer. That's why you're here. And when you're distracted by so much of the outside world dictating to you something that is distracting you from yourself, doing the work so you can help humanity, it's what I'm trying to point out. And I'm trying not to do it, but I need to shake some of you away because I love you all. And a lot of you do mean a lot to me. You're on your journey and I can't change that. But maybe I can spark something within you to change, to meet higher energy, to be better and do better in your life. So until the next time, guys, have a beautiful and blessed day. Bye for now.